is infra dead? Like, I reckon people are going to stick to infra projects that make the most sense, i.e. they're the cheapest, they're the fastest, and they scale reasonably well, and they have the least amount of downtime, which is counterintuitive.
Alts should be holding BTC, trying to protect the Satoshi of the portfolio. So, personally, I think we'll probably touch $12 Solana again for the bear market, even 10. So,
bro, if you can't be in and out of a meme coin in 58 seconds, the trenches aren't for you. You need to get out.
The content presented in this podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be considered as financial advice, and listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research or consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Crypto flip.
In this week's episode, we'll be exploring whether infra is dead and dApps have taken over. We'll also discuss whether Solana is cooked, as people on Polymarket suggest that it may go under $60 in the near future. And is DeFi cooked, as some bandits took over $200 million? We'll be discussing what the impact of that is and a lot more. And if it's your first time here, I'm joined with my co-hosts. And if it's your first time here, I'm Harris King, and I'm joined here with my co-hosts Ricardo and Deji. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening on audio platforms, don't forget to leave a review because it helps us create new episodes. If it's your first time listening, we like to discuss news from the market, strategies to help you become a better trader and or investor so that you can navigate through the crypto market with ease. But before we get into all the heavy stuff, all the news, all the strategies, what we like to do is we like to see what some of the DJs are up to, and we'll explore some crypto confessions. So without further delay, let's get straight into it.
Bring on the DJs.
I invested $40,000 into TEL between February 2018 and January 2021. Watched it run up to over $7 million and didn't sell a single coin because I was convinced $10 million was next. Round tripped the whole thing. Painful lesson. Now I'm holding half the original stack, still 6 figures, and wiser for the next run. What do you make of that?
I mean, obviously, the obvious one is Donny should have sold. But if Donny's still holding a 6-figure bag, Donny needs to realize he came in at 20K. He's got 6 figures now. Yeah, he ran up to 7, but well, you missed out. Okay, 40K. But you just got to take some money out, bro. Take some money off the table.
Yeah, Donny came with 40K. He ran it up to 7 mil and said, nah, I don't want 7 mil. I'll just wait till it's 10 mil. Right, it's just, you can't make this stuff up because there's no guarantee that Telcoin's going to be here next cycle. And for him to ever think that, if I'm him, selling the whole thing from, because hell always pumps. Like every cycle it has this little bleep up off. At the same time, it's never sustained. Like every pump always gets sold up because there's just so many whales looking to exit their bags. And I know whales don't want to sell, their bags are so low. I think for him, I mean, it will be a pretty ballsy move to hold it still next cycle because you haven't really entered their market territory. Like your predictions online that Solana might hit $60. If Solana hits $60, what do you think Tel's gonna do? And Tel's ready as Satoshi level in terms of transaction rate. Yeah. I hope he took some profit. So they say, I hope he took some of that profit. I hope so for him. I hope he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive to go from 40K to 7 mil. I think with those large psychological numbers, for example, 10 mil, 50 mil, 100 mil, everybody has the same strategy. When it hits that number, I'm going to sell. So if you don't take profits up along the way, it may not reach that number. And it often doesn't. Even when you look at Bitcoin, the daddy of all coins, in the last bull run, not in this one, when everyone was expecting it to go to 100K, I was one of them. It didn't manage it. It went to, I think, 69, 68K, something like that. So, people are going to front run the sale. And that's going to, generally speaking, make things cascade down before you ever get to realize your profit. Because, crypto is player versus player. So if somebody sells, you're making a loss if you're still holding the bag. So, yeah, I mean, the lesson of the day is dollar cost average out when things are, when things are riding. It's a bit hard. I'm not gonna lie, because I remember I was in a position where when I invested early in Polygon, I sold early and I saw the thing run up to like, what was it, $2 or $4? I can't remember what the all-time high was. And I sold early. I think I got in at like 30 cents. And I saw that maybe 19, and I was like, oh yeah, 3x. Woo, that's nice. It wasn't as nice as I thought it was. So it's it's a bit of a catch-22. So, sell a little bit and then ride out the rest. But you're still up 6 figures, so you can't really complain. But I think that was the first time for you to actually, take some profits off if you haven't already. So we're going to get into the first story. The first story is Infra dead, and are dApps the ones killing it? Are dApps the new thing that you should be investing in? Because I saw a post on X where it gave an example. So when we talk about infra, we're talking about, infrastructure, layer 1s, layer 2s, things like that, versus dApps, things that are built on top of it. So we have Polygon, which is a layer 2, or it used to be a layer 2. I'm not sure what they are these days. And we have the most popular dApp in all of crypto, Polymarket, which is built on top of Polygon. So Polymarket usage is up over 100x, and the Polygon price is down over 90%. Now, we're obviously in a in a bearish market, if not a bear market. So that has something to do with it. However, could we argue that, one of the following three things? If you're building something with proper product market fit and a good UX, then the ecosystem doesn't matter. And the underlying chains don't accrue the value of the apps or the dApps that it's built on top of. Use case is the real deal. Is that what people should be looking for? There is a counter narrative. For example, you have Pump Fund, and when that was doing well, Solana was doing well, and it's the inverse right now. So yeah, I wanted to get your perspective. Are dApps the future, or is infra still the play?
Is infra or dApps the play? I still think infra is the play, honestly. And then that claim is backed up by years of evidences. I think even since the inception of cryptocurrency. I mean, obviously, Bitcoin been separate. Well, the claim to fame that Ethereum has is that it's a infrastructure that people can deploy to, whether it's L2 or L3, like whatever you want to do, basically do on Ethereum network. But at the same time, I understand there are obviously a lot of L1s that didn't do what it claimed to do. So you get both the good and the bad in both sectors. There's a lot of trash dApps that never really made it. You know what I mean? But more often, because with that infra, there's no dApps. I think I'm more leaning towards, obviously, I think the play in this space is still infra, in my opinion. I think that's where you see a lot of VC pouring a lot of their money. I think a lot of good ideas. Like, I felt like, I said it with a caveat, I felt like if blockchain gaming has been a success, I think we'll see a lot more dApps. As you know, but because blockchain gaming has just been a flop and no one's really kind of gotten a rat, you know what I mean? I think that's probably what's killing that dApp activity. But developers are still building, but they're just building protocols that easily act. So, like, look what happened to Drift Protocol recently. They got exploited again. So it's like, yeah, infra still a play, but you still got to build it right. I think, in my opinion, I think you can't just rely on Clark Core to just bang out a protocol and expect it to be resilient against hackers. Like, these hackers are getting better every day. So infra is still a play, but dApps obviously essentially will be the future as the infra gets more and more robust, in my opinion. So yeah, what do you guys think?
So here's my take here. Like, infra versus dApps or apps. Right now, the problem is infra is a lot harder to build than dApps. So what people are doing is they're vibe coding dApps. Obviously, it's a lot cheaper now to make software, especially really simple, discrete pieces of software. So I reckon people are saying, instead of going to build a whole Polygon or a whole Matic, where, you have this massively sweeping company that with loads of people building out like really novel stuff, I'm just going to go and build a dApp. I'm going to build a piece of app on the blockchain. And yeah, we can see numbers are going through the roof, but it's not just that. like the amount of apps that are submitted to like the App Store and to Google Store has done like a 10x over the last 6 months versus the last 5 years. It's crazy. And yeah, people are just vibe coding all sorts of stuff. So is infra dead? Like, I reckon people are going to stick to infra projects that make the most sense, i.e. they're the cheapest, they're the fastest, and they scale reasonably well, and they have the least amount of downtime, which is counterintuitive to saying they have the highest uptime, because these things are all going down, except for Bitcoin maybe. So because of all of that, people are saying, I'm going to stick to dApps. And because you don't have just developers building dApps, you have product people, you have designers, you have people that are not just focused on like marketers. You have people that are not just focused on, I'm going to build some cool tech. You have people that are like, are specifically targeting use cases. We're in a position where the dApps that non-devs are building are better than the stuff that devs are building, because devs are mostly a bit like more narrow, more focused on technology. These are focused on their specific use case or some specific marketing or like a specific pain point, and they don't really care about what the technology looks like. So yeah, I see this trend, like this disparity growing wider and wider over the course of the next few years, bro. And yeah, some of these products will get product market fit, and that'll be amazing. But I think what we're also forgetting is, generally, as a crypto market, we are all, as investors, over the last few years, currently burnt by investing in infra products or projects that haven't done well in the last bull run. Because we know we're at the tail end of the bull run now. They didn't do well, bro. The projects that did well are the projects that had the most amount of hype. They were the meme coins. They were the infra projects that were like really good. Like I remember Sui went on a crazy rip. Or they're the exchange projects that like had loads of hype, literally like hype. It's not the really cool, like say SEI is a blockchain, legit, bro, super fast, scalable, blah, blah. People didn't care about that in the last cycle. They just cared, is this thing on a move? And if it's not, then it just gets left behind. So I reckon that's where the market is. So I reckon we're just going to see more and more dApps. And yeah, we'll jump into the drift hack. But generally, yeah, that the whole hacking thing is all part and parcel of the market growing. But that's where I see the market moving.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to dApps versus infra, I think we're reaching a stage of maturity in the infra side of things. So, for example, how much faster do we need a blockchain at this point? We've got super fast blockchains. And the fees are a bit more under control than they used to be. So a lot of the issues that we had that were innovation, a few cycles ago, are just, diminishing returns now. So I think a lot of people are seeing that. And on top of the, fast rotationary stuff that we experience in this cycle, both of those things combined equals infra isn't sexy. So I think a lot of the infra that we use moving forward will be stuff that's already established. Yes, you'll get, some new blockchains like Sui that might pop up in the bear market or even in the bull market. But I think for the most part, dApps and apps will come to the forefront, because I think we're in this part of the cycle now, and not in this market cycle, but I mean in the overall crypto cycle, that people want things that they can actually use in their day-to-day life. That's why I've been, trying to find projects that actually have utility, that actually can deliver on their, specific use cases. And I think that will become more prominent. There is an inherent risk as an investor when you invest in that as not as a protocol, but as a project, because with infra, it's a lot more safe as it can be when you invest on the chain, because if you've done your due diligence and you're right, and the chain accrues value, then your investment should rise. When it comes to a dApp, now it could be 1 versus 5, which are identical or very similar. And then it just becomes an execution play or even a marketing play, depending on what the dApp is. So it becomes a lot harder to spot the winners. And I think if we go back to fundamentals and we move away from, the rotationary stuff and the meme coins, it'll be very interesting to see what people prioritize. Whether it's going to be products that actually, deliver on what they say. I'm just going to be very curious as to what the standard is going to be. So, but yeah, I mean, dApps definitely have a future. I think we haven't had a lot of killer apps and dApps, do well. We've had some. We had one in gaming. We had, obviously Pump Fun. We've had Polymarket. There's a few that have stuck out well, and we can argue about whether they're net good for crypto or not. But I think there's a lot more to come. And when that happens, that's when you'll see the masses start to get onboarded, because they're not going to feel like crypto apps. The first thing you're going to see isn't going to be, connect a wallet before you can use it. And then you don't know if you want to connect to your wallet in the first place. So, when the dApps and the apps improve, then I think we'll see more people onboarded, and that investment will start to make a lot more sense. And something that doesn't look like it's making sense is Solana, because on Polymarket, people are predicting that there is a 74% chance that it drops under $60, which is pretty insane. And coupled with that, the average meme coin hold time on Solana drops to 58 seconds in 2026, which is down from 100 seconds in 2025 and 1 day in 2024, according to Dune Analytics. So with all of this combined, is Solana cooked? That's what I want to know.
You know what's mad, yeah? Average hold time for a meme coin. I didn't know this. You just said it. 100 seconds from 2025 there. Bro, in 2025, we're in 2026 now. People are still holding those meme coins from 2025, Carol. Yet still, they still have this mad conviction that this coin is going to come back. Bro, 58 seconds. Solana's done. 75% chance, that Solana's going to drop below $60. Bro, that's a given. I remember I think it's when we first started probably like between episode 10 and 15, yeah? We were talking about jumping into Solana at $8. That seems crazy now because Solana went all the way up to $2.7. But right now, can we see Solana going back down? Yes, bro, we're in a bear market. Like, things will go down. Everything across the board will go down. So Solana going below 60, I don't think that's the bottom, mate. I think Solana's going probably all the way down to something like, I don't know, bro, maybe $10 again, maybe even less. Because the market will definitely shrink before it inflates again. But generally, I think the premise I want to get out there, based on what you just said, which is fresh information to me, how long people are holding meme coins. Bro, if you can't be in and out of a meme coin in 58 seconds, the trenches aren't for you. You need to get out. Because 58 seconds, bro. Let's read through this. The 58 seconds that some of these men are holding for you, they're holding in profit. Like, they're going in with one soul and they're leaving with 1.5, and they're repetitively doing this. And if it's not them, it's some AI agent. And if you cannot compete, bro, stay out of the trenches. Because everybody that hold any meme coin from last year, I would be hard pressed for you to find me any meme coin that would fall this time last year. Say 2nd of April. Any meme coin that was bought 2nd of April last year, is it in profit today? I bet money they are all down. So you shouldn't hold meme coin. I'm going to go one step further. You should be holding any crypto except for Bitcoin at this moment in time. But that's me and you. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you meant.
Listen, yeah, you said it best, bro. Like, the market has to strip before it inflates again. And like, personally for me, I don't think $60. That's the reason why the probability is so high. Because I don't think $60 is the bottom for Solana this cycle. It just isn't, fam. And coupled with the fact that crazy stat back during that you stated, Iris, like 100 seconds. I didn't even know this as well, already. I didn't know. 100 seconds. 100 seconds.
That was last year, though. Now it's 58.
That was last year, and now it's down to 58 seconds. I think, like, that just tells you everything to know. Like, if you're looking for, like, if you're still thinking, yeah, like, yeah, bull market, the best is yet to come. Yes, the best is yet to come. Right now, you got to accept the bad. Like, honestly, we're obviously in a bear market and more evidence just keep popping out. And if you refuse to just listen to it, like, these are the kind of nuggets that you need to kind of read and just kind of protect yourself. And you shouldn't even be in alts. You should be holding BTC, trying to protect the Satoshi of the portfolio. So I personally, I think we'll probably touch $12 Solana again for the bear market, even 10. So yeah, $60 that's why it's so high. Eventually, if you check the same market again in a couple weeks, it'll probably be 9%, if not higher. So $60 is problem. We're going to head down for sure.
Yeah, I think the one thing about Solana is that in a downturn, it seems to be one of the more affected coins. And I think that's primarily because what's built on top of it is mainly meme coins and things to do with meme coins and the meme coin infrastructure. So people are obviously going to sell those fast and hard, which is going to affect Solana. So,
Harry,
Yo.
Popcat is down 98%.
I'm sure if you
the all-time high. And remember Fork? They would think we're politics.
Yeah.
Fork is down.
Or they were talking about Fork. I literally, as I was saying that statement.
Bro, 99.4% down. There's no recovery from that. No recovery. There's no comeback. Anyway, carry on.
It's finished.
Yeah. You know what's funny actually? Before I get back to my original statement, before we hopped on the pod, guess who I saw? Our favorite meme coin analyst, Murad, said something. I saw him tweet something. I don't want to misquote him, but I don't have it in front of me. But it was something to the effect of SPX is gonna go from, I don't know what it is now. I think he even said like 50 billion or 50. I don't know what the current price is, but the current price to $1 trillion. The $1 trillion in market value.
Bro, you telling me this guy is not an ad, bro? This guy is even walking advert, my guy.
So yeah, sounds like he's just trying to pump those today.
Bro, that's the wickedest trolling. That's marketing at its finest, bro.
No, it really is. That was wild when I saw it. So, but yeah, back to the Solana stuff. For me, I've championed Solana ever since it was down, and it made the recovery. But this time around, I think Solana is a good chain. However, the problem with Solana is that the things building on top of it is quicksand for the most part. There is obviously other things built on it, but when a lot of things in the ecosystem are centered around meme coins, and meme coins are not going to be something that's going to work out long term, then inevitably it's going to affect the chains. And yeah, I think that's partially what we're seeing. So will it drop under 60? I think so. Will it get down to under 10? I don't believe so, but if it happened, it wouldn't shock me. So yeah, if you're holding Solana, I'd say be careful. And if you want an entry in Solana, keep an eye out. And something else you should keep an eye out for is Drift Protocol, because it just got drained for over $200 million. And it's Solana's largest perps DEX, and everything was gone in one transaction. So, DeFi could be cooked as a result because Drift has got drained for $200 million plus. And here's how. So the attacker minted 750 million fake tokens, made a Radium pool with $500 liquidity, priced at $1 per token, compromised the admin key, listed the fake tokens on Drift, disabled all withdrawal guards in one transaction, and then deposited. So, yeah, what do you make of that? And what do you think the impact is on DeFi as a whole? And what do you guys make of it?
Two things which I think maybe might not be obvious to everyone. The don that did this used to work for the companies.
I was wondering how he got the admin keys. I was like, where did the admin keys come from?
But, bro, just hear me out. If this Don didn't work for the company, then his knowledge of DeFi as infrastructure is like second to not many people in the world. He's obviously like some high level architect of DeFi solutions, yeah? If he didn't work there. But let's go with the assumption that he worked there. I feel like a lot of these DeFi hacks that are coming in now are either people with insane knowledge about DeFi hacks, which a lot of crypto groups have, like a lot of crypto hacking groups have, because this is all they do. Their full-time job is doing this. Like, you know, we all have our jobs. Like, we're good at our jobs here. These men are good at hacking DeFi protocols. But let's make the assumption, yeah, that these man, this guy was, or these people worked for the company or had some backdoor. They did something, bro, that was so clever, so intricate, and I don't believe this is like a common way of hacking a protocol. So these men were scheming on this for a little while before they pulled the trigger and implemented. And I think 200 mil. Obviously, when you hear the number, it sounds like a lot. However, bro, like I can't even remember. I might have to pull up the real figures, but it was well over $1 billion, way over $1 billion that ended up in crypto scams last year. Crypto scams like people being scammed or protocols being hacked or exchanges being hacked, but they keep that one quiet and they don't really tell up their customers about it. But anyway, I feel like this is just standard business. Is it bad for DeFi? Not really. Like this will keep happening, man. It will keep happening because there will keep being vulnerabilities. And the onus should be on the companies to make sure that this doesn't happen. And if this doesn't happen, if your protocol doesn't get hacked, there's so many other ways which your crypto company can just get wiped easy. Like, do you remember the RWA 0M? I think that's what it was called. Yeah. It's really easy for stuff like this, huh? What was it called again?
I can't remember the exact name, but it rings a bell.
Yeah, a mantra, I think it was. Anyway, yeah, it's peak. Does it make a difference to the market? No, I think people will still invest in DeFi. People will still use DeFi. But will people leave their money in a DeFi liquidity pool? Not me, bro. Not me, not no more. I'm all right. The hacks are too prevalent. They're too good. And these protocols are not taking enough responsibility. And yeah, it's only a matter of time before something crazy like a Cub Fund gets a massive hack. And like, I mean, obviously, like, God forbid, I already want that to happen to their business, but geez, it's rife, bro. Like, the people out there, they are active. And I'm pretty sure that 200M somehow made a little mix. I ain't even checked, but maybe the price of Monero jumped a bit, maybe. And yeah, now they're happily swimming away with their hella piece. So yeah, that's my opinion anyway.
My man said, yeah, they go away with the money under 60 seconds. Like, the reports I'm getting is these method that they use was so advanced, it's never been seen in hacking before, in terms of obviously hacking the protocol. But now that you buy it today, and maybe there's some truth to it, because I thought it was just gas. And the truth be told, I think everything I read yesterday, I took with a pinch of salt. So I'm like, I'm not falling for this dumb April Fool's joke. And then this guy,
I thought he said the fears.
ran admin keys. Like that, honestly, and they labeled it not April Fool's. They labeled the transaction not April Fool's. Talk about taunting, son. So, like, I think because, right, it's got a point. This has got to be some sort of like ex-planted employee or something, or even it's an inside job where like the person inside is not the one that did it. Well, they definitely helped by providing admin key. So, listen, this is another blow. I think the biggest loser here is Solana, in my opinion, because again, another Quicksand project that I think they were. I'm not gonna say they were quite proud of Drift, but again, for it to be exploited and obviously it's not entirely Solana's fault. I would say I don't think Solana's fault. I think it's just better in terms of like leadership and management. I think that's what it's more about. But I think at the end of the day, like, it just can't keep happening, and like, there has to be something done in terms of like protecting themselves, not letting yourself exploit the opportunity. I feel like there has to be, whether it's multiple signature signing or something. Like, you shouldn't be able to move such a big amount of money so easy. I understand, obviously, that's upon the cryptocurrency, be able to move value at any value you want in seconds. But I think
You're right, but you're right.
270.
They just went around the multi-sig.
They have multi-sig and they just went around it, right?
Yeah, you can't. That's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. All because of the problematic advocate. I think, yeah, you're right. I think definitely, I don't think this is going to a big blow to DeFi. People, DeFi will come back again next cycle. But in terms of, are you going to be careful the next DeFi project you invest in? Absolutely. Because now I don't see Drift making a comeback. Drift is done. It's done. Cooked. You don't make a comeback with this.
It's definitely bad PR in a space where we need a lot of good PR. And things like this doesn't help. But I think a lot of people are just becoming numb to these types of stories. I know I am. Because every other week, every other...
100%.
It's like, oh, just another hack. It's just like, it's coming to be expected. So,
bro, the biggest winners in this cycle has been hackers, bro. The hackers have been eating, bro. Hackers have been just chopping right, left, and center. Literally.
what I don't understand...
Fire low, so high. They've been chopping, bro.
What I don't understand is why these crypto companies just don't, get proper security audits and, or see, just run it through crawl code or something. Do something, man.
Nah, bro, you can't even run that. I am almost certain Drift Protocol has a proper audit trail, but I could be wrong. And the reason why is because you can't get that big without a proper audit trail. And it's probably got audited by some of biggest auditors. So they did a TOB audit, Trail of Bits. This was done in February 15, 2023. But the thing about audits here that maybe is also not clear to everyone is they have 3 audits. They have a TOB audit, they have a Neodad audit, they have an Otasec audit. They've been audited. But you see, the thing about audits is, bro, imagine you build a house, you get a surveyor or someone to come in and look at your house, say, yeah, everything good, tick. In 6 months' time, and then you start doing stuff to your house where you start painting one room, you start messing with your electronics in one room, you put in a telephone pole, you get whatever put into the house. You don't get audit every single time, bro. So these guys are actively pushing code to their repos consistently. And yeah, you don't get audit every time you add code to your repo, but yeah, they have audits, bro. And I'm looking here, they've had an audit every year. Just like how financial institutions across the world, they don't get audited after every transaction. They get audited once a year. They'll have an external auditor comes in, or they have their own internal audit team. But yeah, bro. Sorry, I can't never.
No. I feel like this is not an issue with a code where the code got exploited. This is an issue with a compromised login, admin key. That's where it started, isn't it? So if you had managed that properly, I don't think it would have been easy. I think maybe the attacker gets away with 20 mil or 50 mil rather than 200, basically the whole bag, fam.
I hear that.
Bro, Drift is down 98% on this attack.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
from all-time high.
They're done, bro.
They're done. They're not coming back from this. There's no comeback.
Yeah, with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.